2 minutes to go for
Good morning and welcome to Great Chief Park, just a hop, skip, and a jump from downtown Red Deer, Alberta for today's men's and women's 1,000-meter long track races here at the 2019 Canada Winter Games. I'm Sean Woodley here to bring you all the action today from the track on this beautiful and frankly mild day compared to much of our stay here in Red Deer. The long track competition here in Red Deer is on an outdoor course. So aside from the field of athletes, the skaters will be contending with the elements. As I alluded to, it is positively balmy out compared to earlier this week. Right now in Red Deer, it's about -7, feeling like -14 with a 15-kilometer-an-hour wind out of the northwest, gusting up to about 23 kilometers. So there will be a bit of wind resistance to challenge the athletes today. It should warm up to about -5 today or so. There's going to be a little bit of light snow throughout the day at certain times. The wind is slated to pick up another 5 kilometers or so by the time the mass start event begins later this afternoon. But before that, it's time for the 1,000 meters, the second shortest long track distance here at the Games. We saw the 1,500 meter contested on Saturday, the 500 on Sunday, and we had a pair of double gold winners in those races. Alberta's Brooklyn McDougall on the women's side and Manitoba's Tyson Langelar. And we are getting off here with our first skater. This is a solo pairing. This is Emma LeBlanc of New Brunswick, 16 years old from Moncton, New Brunswick, and the Kodiak Cyclones Speed Skating Club. This is a 2.5 lap race, 1,000 meters around the track here at Great Chief Park. The racers today will be looking for times in and around a minute 30, under a minute 30, around a minute 20 is going to be where the medalists probably end up being. Perhaps a little bit higher than that just because of the weather conditions. Here's Emma LeBlanc skating beginning on the inside track. They will swap on each turn coming into the final straightaway. Emma LeBlanc so far at these Canada Winter Games, 22nd in the 1,500 on Saturday, 25th in the 500. Coming back around here. About one lap going into the bell lap here for Emma LeBlanc. Wearing that deep red New Brunswick uniform. Headed along the back stretch here comes LeBlanc.
Sure she can hear you.
All the other pairings today will feature two skaters. LeBlanc is the only solo. This has to be a difficult thing to do. There's not really someone to keep pace with, but LeBlanc has drawn the short straw. Today in the women's competition, we have 14 pairs and 27 skaters. A lot of the favorites will be up later on. Brooklyn McDougall, as I mentioned, she was the winner. And here comes Emma LeBlanc past the finish line.
1:42.81.
And she has finised up her 1,000 meters here at the Canada Winter Games. We'll be waiting for the times. We're going to have a camera pan over to the scoreboard. We don't have the times available in studio here, but we will have the times for you shortly. What we do know is Emma LeBlanc will be in first place after her skate today. Coming up in the next pair, we have New Brunswick's Lila Cartier against Saskatchewan's Emery Pillette. Lila is in the white helmet, although the helmet is underneath the suit because it's pretty cold out there. So Lila is in the red uniform there on the inside lane. Emery is on the outside in the green from Saskatchewan. And they are off around the first corner. Lila Cartier from New Brunswick is 15 years old. Represents New Brunswick, but is from Mascouche, Quebec. She also skates the same club Emma LeBlanc did, the Kodiak Cyclones. Her coach is Jean LeBlanc and Miriam Verschoor. Her personal best in the 1,000 is a minute 47.54. She's also a multi-sport athlete. She's a mountain biker, road cyclist, and cross-country runner at both the high school and provincial levels. Just 15. Watch out for Lila Cartier. She was 21st in the 1,500 on Saturday, 22nd in the 500 on Sunday. And in the green is Emery Pillette of Saskatchewan, 16 years old, 25th in the
After
1500,
600 meters,
24th in the 500.
Lila Cartier.
And going into this turn here, it seems as though Cartier has a bit of an edge, but Colette on that
300
short
meters to
lane
go.
on the inside
Cartier,
now.
Just a short bit ahead.
They alternate
of
back and forth
Emery
to ensure
Pellet.
they're skating the same distance around this 400-meter track. Once again, 2.5 laps. Coming along the back stretch here. And it looks like Cartier is building on her lead as she hits the inside lane, coming towards the finish.
Driving to the line
And
now.
here comes Cartier. She is going to win this heat.
Following closely behind.
Coming in after her will be Emery Pellet, and she crosses the finish line there.
Pair 3.
And
skating
it
on
looks
the
as
inner.
though Lila Cartier will move into first place. Emery Pellet in second place.
Lila Ribbon. And on the outer, representing New Brunswick.
With 3 skaters in the books, Lila Cartier is your first place skater. Emma LeBlanc's final time was 1:42.81. Just coming in from the ground, thanks to our sports information officer, Will Dutton, down on the ground, giving us updates. The next pairing is going to feature Mila Rybin, a 15-year-old from Waldheim, Saskatchewan, on the inside lane. On the outside, Grayson Miller of New Brunswick, 18 years old from Douglas, New Brunswick. And it seems like they are coming to the start here. Getting some times coming in now from Lila Cartier and Emery Pellet. It's a bit of an inexact science getting these, so just bear with us, please, while we get these times accurate. So coming in now, we have Lila Cartier with a time of 1:42.72. That puts her ahead of Emma LeBlanc by 9/100ths of a second. Emery Pellet with a time of 1:48.20, so that'll put her in third place. Once again, your next pairing is going to feature Mila Rybin of Saskatchewan, 15 years old from Waldheim, Saskatchewan. Grayson Miller of New Brunswick will be on the outside lane. Let's a look at Grayson Miller there now, I believe. So once again, after 3 skaters, in the gold medal position is Lila Cartier at a 1:42.72. Emma LeBlanc, 1:42.81 is in second. Emery Pellet of Saskatchewan, 1:48.20 is in third. But keep in mind, a lot of the heavy hitters in this distance are coming up later in the event. There you have a look at Mila Rybin, the 15-year-old from Saskatchewan. On the inside lane, Grayson Miller of New Brunswick. Next to her on the outside.
Mila Ribbon, Saskatchewan,
And they are
on
off
the inner. Grayson Miller, New
in
Brunswick,
this
on
third
the
heat
outer.
of the women's 1,000 meters from Great Chief Park in
Ribbon
Red
with a
Deer,
great
Alberta
start.
at the 2019 Canada Winter Games.
She's got the shorter distance around the first corner.
Once again, keep in mind the skaters will alternate going inside and outside until they come around the final stretch. 2.5 laps on this 400-meter track outside in the park next to the Red Deer River. And it looks like a really strong start from Mila Ryben. Already sort of making up that distance. She's almost got the entire straightaway on Grayson Miller to begin. Mila Ryben, just 15, but she's performed pretty well so far this week in Red Deer. 14th in the 1,500 meters, 8th in the 500. Coached by Tim Comfort, who is a coach for many of the skaters here, both on the men's and women's sides. So Mila Ryben, certainly one to watch as a 15-year-old, already opening up an enormous lead on Grayson Miller. Looking strong, looking fluid. Not at all stressed as she makes this skate around. Legs pumping, churning, coming into the final stretch.
Mila Ryben, Saskatchewan.
Mila Ryben coming to the finish, and she will almost certainly be in first place. After that magnificent skate from the 15-year-old from Saskatchewan. Grayson Miller coming in. She will be finishing up shortly here. There's Grayson Miller crossing the finish line. We will get an updated time for both of these skaters, but I think it's safe to say Mila Ryben is going to move into your gold medal position.
And on the outer, from Ontario,
we are getting word from the ground that there are some timing issues happening at the venue, so we may not have accurate, up-to-date information right away for you. The elements are coming for us all. But I am pretty comfortable in saying Mila Ryben is going to be your leader in the gold medal spot after the third heat of 14 here in the women's 1,000 meters. There's a look at the 15-year-old from Saskatchewan, Mila Ryben. A fantastic skate, adding to her very strong week. Again, 14th in the 1,500, 8th in the 500. So she obviously excels at the shorter sprint distances. Grayson Miller, we don't have exact times just yet on either of these skaters. Hard to really judge where Grayson Miller will end up in the overall standings. Once again, before Mila Ryben, Lila Cartier of New Brunswick held the first place position with a time of 1:42.72. I would have to think Mila Ryben beat that time by quite a bit with her skate. The next pairing from New Brunswick, we have Lucy Wolf, another New Brunswick skater, the fourth so far out of the blocks here. She is in the inside lane. And we have a false start, it seems. Rare to see false starts in the longer distance races, but not totally out of nowhere. So on the inside lane, we have Lucy Wolf of New Brunswick. In the outside lane from Ontario, we have Rachel Freitag. Lucy Wolf is 15 years old from St. John, New Brunswick, St. John Amateur Speed Skating Club, and coach Miriam Verschoor, who's already come up so far today. She's the coach of Lila Cartier, who was once the first place skater before Mila Ryben.
Wolf on the inner, Freitag on the outer. New Brunswick and Ontario.
Rachel Freitag, 18 years old from Ottawa, Ontario, part of the Olympic Oval program, and coach Justin Warslowitz. She was third overall at the 2017 Ontario Provincial Championships in that red, white, and black Ontario uniform. Here's Lucy Wolf coming around. It seems as though Freitag has the edge in this one.
Freitag de l'Ontario.
Freitag still in the lead, coming on the backstretch here. Opening up nearly a full straightaway's worth of a lead over Lucy Wolf as she goes to the inside lane.
And coming across the line now from New Brunswick, Lucy Wolf.
Lucy Wolf looking a little bit labored, whereas Rachel Freitag looking comfortable, smooth, fluid. Got a great pace going. with those strides. And she will come into her final turn as she moves towards the finish line here. In the 1,000 meters, Mila Rybin is the skater to beat right now. We'll have to see whether or not Rachel Freitag has upped the ante, but she wins her heat against Lucy Wolf of New Brunswick. We will get updated times for you shortly. Just working on clearing up the time for Mila Rybin. Grayson Miller had a time of 1:45.78.
And introducing pair 5 on the inner, representing Saskatchewan.
Which would put her in 4th place after the 3rd heat.
Annika Marshall. And on the outer, from British Columbia, de la Colombie-Britannique,
and Lucy Wolf has finished up as well now in the 4th heat. Coming up in the 5th heat here, we have Annika Marshall of Saskatchewan, 16 years old from Saskatoon, and Una Lavelle of BC. She will be on the outside lane. Annika Marshall will be on the inside lane. Coming up in heat number 5 of 14 here at the women's 1,000. Each skater will race one time around. This is not like the 500 where there are 2 heats and you add the times together. This is one time around. Again, still working on getting the accurate time for Mila Rybin, but I do believe she is in 1st place through 4 heats, sorry. Still getting the times for Lucy Wolf and Rachel Freitag as well. Rachel Freitag comes in with a time of 1:35.97. Lucy Wolf with a time of 1:54.84. Heat number 5 is off. Once again there in the blue and red on the outside, that is Una Lavelle, 17 years old from Fort St. John, BC, and the Elks Speed Skating Club with Coach Richard Stickle, a name you will hear a lot of today. And she's skating against Annika Marshall of Saskatchewan
Level in
the green.
Marshall on the inner. They'll change over when they hit the back straight. Opening splits for Annika Marshall, 21:28. Una Lavelle, 20:71.
And a pretty close heat. And we have an official time now for Mila Rybin, a 1:29.23. So she is well in 1st place with her remarkable skate for the 15-year-old from Saskatchewan. Once again, Lucy Wolf had a 1:54.84. Rachel Freitag of Ontario a 1:35.97 to put Rachel Freitag in 2nd. And in 3rd place is Lila Karche of New Brunswick.
To be a very close finish. These ladies
a pretty close heat here between Lavelle and Annika Marshall. Both looking pretty strong. A little bit of shakiness there from Lavelle coming into that turn.
For this final corner, 50 meters to go.
Coming out of the turn, we have Annika Marshall looks to be leading. She finishes up. She's going to win her heat against Una Lavelle. Both of these skaters look to put up pretty good times. We'll see how they stack up to the leader, Mila Rybin of Saskatchewan from Heat 3. And it looks there like we had a 1:32 and a 1:34, getting those accurate times. Annika Marshall moves into 2nd place with a 1:32.72. Una Lavelle with a 1:34.67.
Representing Saskatchewan. Representant Saskatchewan, Callie Ann Friesen.
A very good heat there, very fast heat from both of these skaters. Una Lavelle of BC and Annika Marshall of Saskatchewan. The next heat, heat number 6, will feature Kennedy Charles, right there in the yellow from Manitoba, and Callie Ann Friesen of Saskatchewan. We got a little prairie rivalry going on. On the inside there, that is Kennedy Charles. She's 17 years old from Verdun, Manitoba, and the Westman Speed Skating Club. She won a gold at the 2018 Manitoba Winter Games in the 1500 in 2018, 15th in the 500, and 21st, sorry, 15th in the 1500, 21st in the 500 at these Winter Games. Callie Ann Friesen is 16 years old from Regina, Saskatchewan, and the Regina Moose Jaw Speed Skating Club under Coach Tim Comfort. She lists her role model as 2-time Canada Winter Games gold medalist and 2014 Canadian Olympian Marcia Hootie. She finished 19th in the 1500 on Saturday, 20th in the 500.
Coming into the bell lap, this is Kennedy Charles.
So unofficially right now, we have Mila Ryben in first with a 129.53. That is the time to
We'll
beat.
see who's got the
Followed by
stamina
Annika
for
Marshall of
this
Saskatchewan
final
with a
lap.
132.72. And Una Lavelle of BC with a 134.67.
Friesen with the inner lane will cross over in front of Kennedy Charles.
Just a reminder once again, the times are a little bit unsophisticated as we gather them, so there may be some discrepancies.
The shorter inner lane on the final corner.
We have when we have it.
They're going to be very close.
In the lead here is Callie-Ann Friesen, although it's a very close heat, and it looks as though Kennedy Charles has used that final turn to gain a bit of an edge. Coming to the finish line, and it's going to be Kennedy Charles of Manitoba winning heat number 6 ahead of Callie-Ann Friesen of Saskatchewan. We will have to see the times, but both looked like they had pretty strong skates there. And Kennedy Charles will take that heat. So we're getting a look at the top 3 right now. Ryben, Marshall, Lavelle. With some heavy hitters coming up in the later pairings.
Alexa Annika.
Here in pairing number 7, we're going to have Alexa Annika, our first athlete from Ontario, 18 years old, from Barrie, Ontario, up against the Albertan, Kayla McNeely from Calgary, Alberta. Bit of a hometown advantage for Kayla McNeely, just an hour and a half away from her hometown. And Kennedy Charles and Callie-Ann Friesen's times are just in. Kennedy Charles just off the podium with a 134.85, putting her in 4th place. Callie-Ann Friesen with a 135.27. And they're off in the pairing number 7, Alexa Annika, of Ontario.
Meters, McNeely with a slight lead. She's
in
got
that
a 21:45
red,
opener.
white, and black uniform.
Annika
And
with a
then Kayla McNeely
21.76.
from Alberta in the blue and black. Alexa Annika was 26th in the 1500 earlier this week, 16th in the 500. Kayla McNeely was 10th in the 15, 15th in the 500, and it looks like a pretty close heat here. McNeely going to use that inside turn to gain a bit of an edge here, going along the back stretch of this course.
Into 600, she's got 400 to go. The bell lap, McNeely and Annika.
And they will continue on here.
Very fast
Just
split
under a
time
lap
for Kayla
remaining. Once
McNeely,
again, this is 2.5 laps of the Great
Alexa
Chief
Annika,
Park course here.
34.16.
400 meters of ice in front of them. 1,000 meters to cover. Coming into the final turn, it looks as though McNeely's laboring a little bit coming into that final turn. We'll see here if Annika can gain any ground in this final turn, but it looks like it's going to be McNeely pretty easily coming to the line to win heat number 7 here. And then just a couple seconds behind her is Alexa Annika of Ontario. So the Albertan, Kayla McNeely, throws down a pretty good run here. We'll see with the official times. A 129.46. And that is going to put Kayla McNeely into second place just behind Mila Ryben, 23/100ths of a second. Kayla McNeely now in the silver medal position.
And on the outer, representing British Columbia, representing BC, Laura Hall.
Alexa Annika with another very nice run, 132.21. That's going to put her in 3rd place in the bronze medal position as of right now. So 2 new podium members. We're now into heat number 8. Here is Chloe Bouchane of Manitoba in the yellow on the inside lane, 17 years old from Dougald, Manitoba, up against Laura Hall of BC, 15 years old from Salmon Arm, BC.
And as they come around this first bend, I don't know, ladies and gentlemen,
both of these skaters have shown pretty well this week. Chloe Bouchane, once again from Manitoba in the yellow, 13th in the 500, in the 1500 on Saturday, 9th in the 500. Laura Hall at just 15 years old, 12th in the 15 and 8th in the 500 meters. So once again, we have a refreshed podium. Mila Ryben of Saskatchewan, all the way back in heat number 3, laid down the time to beat with a 129.23. Kayla McNeely of Alberta, a 129.46 in second place. And Alexa Annika in McNeely's heat puts down the bronze medal time as it stands with a 1:32.21.
Just in behind her.
A very close looking heat here
Split time for Beauchesne,
between Chloe Beauchesne and Laura Hall. This is heat number 8. We are into the second half of the heats here.
Hall crossing over just in
And a
front of
slight
Beauchesne
lead
on
coming
that
out of
back
that
straight.
turn for Laura Hall of BC from the Vernon Vortex Speed Skating Club. Her father, Mike Hall, is also her coach, and he also competed in the 1994 Olympics in Lillehammer, Norway in the 5,000 meter event.
Laura Hall.
And here we have, coming to the finish,
Unofficial time, Beauchesne.
looks like we had Chloe Beauchesne finishing up just ahead of Laura Hall there. Here in heat number 8. Chloe Beauchesne with a time of 1:30.79 moves her into bronze medal position. A very nice run from Beauchesne. Laura Hall was not far behind with a 1:31.83.
Introducing pair 9.
Will be just off the podium right now. But a very nice skate for both of these athletes. As we move on to heat number 9, we'll feature Brooke Braun from British Columbia, 15 years old from Salmon Arm, BC on the inside. Ashley Hanna of Manitoba, 19 years old from Winnipeg on the outside. There we have Hanna on the left of your screen in the yellow. On the right, we have Brooke Braun of BC. And a pretty strong start, it looks like, for Ashley Hanna. Once again, Ashley Hanna is 19 from Winnipeg, the River Heights Speed Skating Club. Coach Jeff Katura. She's listed her goal for this competition is to medal in the team pursuit later in the competition. She was 9th in the 1500, 13th in the 500.
5/100 separating them through the first 200 meters.
And it looks like Brooke Braun is kind of taking a bit of a lead here, taking that inside advantage. She'll now cross over to the other side to take the outside. A very close heat here once again. Brooke Braun, 15 years old from Salmon Arm, BC. 16th in the 1500, 14th in the 500. But both skaters here looking pretty strong, although that inside edge looks like it's going to give Hanna a bit of a lead coming down the back stretch here.
1 lap to go. A 32.72 for Hanna, 34.18
1
for Brooke
lap
Braun.
to go.
Ashley Hanna,
And Ashley Hanna has opened up quite a lead for Manitoba. She is going to be in the running here, it looks like, to get on the podium.
Brooke Braun.
She's got the outside edge. Legs churning. She's looking strong coming into the finish. It's going to be Ashley Hanna of Manitoba winning heat number 9 of the women's 1,000 meters. Just a few seconds after her is Brooke Braun of BC, the 15-year-old from Salmon Arm. But it's Ashley Hanna from Winnipeg who's going to take this heat. And she has moved into the gold medal position with a time of 1:29.13. 10/100ths of a second ahead of Mila Ryben. She is your new leader. 1:29.13 is the time to beat. A great skate from Ashley Hanna. Brooke Braun with a time of 1:32.49. The next pairing here, we have Lily Weideman of Ontario in the inside lane. On the outside, Rosanne Grenier of Quebec in heat number 10. Then they're off here in heat number 10
These
of the
skaters will be
women's
chasing the Canada Games record these last few
1,000
pairs.
meters.
That record
And we're
set
into
in
some of
Fort St.
the
John
heavy hitters
2015.
in this competition.
1 minute 22.27
Lily Weideman, 19 years old from Ottawa, Ontario. The last name might be familiar to you if you're a speed skating fan. Her sister, Isabel Weideman, competed for Canada at the Pyeongchang Olympics in 2018. Lily finished 11th in the 1500 and 7th in the 500 earlier this week. And Rosanne Grenier, very much in the running here for a medal. Silver in the 1,500 meters earlier this week on Saturday. 11th in the 500, more of a long distance specialist, so this one's a bit of an in-between distance for her, but very much in the running. And it looks like Weideman has a bit of a lead coming up here with 1 lap to remain. They've hit the bell lap again 2.5 times around this 400-meter track here at Great Chief Park.
Exactly the same.
Let's see if Grenier can use that inside edge to gain a bit of a lead coming out of the turn. And they look to be extremely close. Weideman will have the inside corner on this final turn coming towards the finish line. 1:29.13 is the time to beat coming to the finish out of the final turn. They're neck and neck. It looks like it's going to be Grenier, but it's close at the line. Roseanne Grenier has won heat number 10 of the women's 1,000 meter. We will get her time up as soon as we can. A very fast heat we will see, and she has moved in to gold medal position with a time of 1:28.55. Lily Weideman just 17/100ths back in second place. So your gold and silver medal positions right now are held by both ladies competing in heat number 10. Roseanne Grenier of Quebec is your new leader, 1:28.55.
And on the outer, yesterday's winner of the 3,000.
And coming up here, you see the name, Brooklyn McDougall. She is the favorite to win this race. She is gold already in the 1,500 and 500 this week. She is the favorite here near her hometown of Calgary, Alberta. 20 years old. She's up against Alexa Scott, 17 years old. She did not compete in the 500 or 1,500. She has just returned from the Junior World Championships in Italy, and they are off in heat number 11. This is a big one. Look at that start, the powerful start for Brooklyn McDougall. Those quick strides, keeping the head straight. She takes the inside corner, and she's going to come out with a bit of a lead already on Alexa Scott. 2 laps to go here in this 1,000-meter race at Great Chief Park, and look at Brooklyn McDougall go. Along the backstretch, opening up a bit of a lead here on Alexa Scott. Brooklyn McDougall, again, 20 years old from Calgary. 12th overall at the 2018 Junior World Championships. This is her second Canada Games. Her personal best in this event is a 1:17.56 on an inside track. 1 lap to go. Alexa Scott has closed the gap a little bit here, and she's going to use the inside. Alexa Scott, a bit of a dark horse in this event. We haven't seen her this week, but those fresh legs seem to be paying off. She has passed Brooklyn McDougall now, although McDougall will have the inside track coming around the final turn. Both skaters, Alexa Scott looks a little bit more comfortable. McDougall looking like she's laboring a little bit, but we'll see if she can have a bit of a push here around the final turn. McDougall trailing Alexa Scott. Alexa Scott is going to go for the upset here in this heat, and she has finished ahead of the 2-time gold medalist Brooklyn McDougall. And there's a very good chance she is going to be in the gold medal position when it's all said and done. There she goes, a 1:22.26. Blowing the lead times out of the water is Alexa Scott from Manitoba, moving into first place. Brooklyn McDougall with a 1:23.38 is in second place in the silver medal position. Alexa just set the record by 1/100th of a second.
Skating in her home province of Alberta.
The track record here at Great Chief Park just fell by 1/100th of a second at the hands or the blades of Alexa Scott of Manitoba, the 17-year-old from Clandeboye, Manitoba. She is in gold medal position. And now we are into heat number 12. Rose La Liberté Wa from Quebec on the inside. Cassidy Peterson of Alberta on the outside. And they are off in heat number 12. Rose La Liberté Wa of Quebec on the inside in the purple uniform with the red glasses. She had silver in the 500 meters.
Coming through the first corner.
Sixth place in the 1,500 meters. Cassidy Peterson, fourth in the 1,500, 12th in the 500. She's more of a distance specialist. Her goal is to medal in the 3,000 and the team pursuit. But still very much a heavy hitter here. Just coming in that this is a Canada Games record for Alexa Scott with a 1:22.26, your gold medal position right now. It's going to be tough to knock that time down. La Liberté Wa is in the lead now, quite a bit ahead of Cassidy Peterson. Once again, Cassidy more of a distance skater.
Rose La Liberté Roy.
But here is La
And
Liberté
Cassidy
Roy
Peterson.
coming in with
Split
1 lap
time
to
for
go.
Rose, 31-15.
She will have the
Alberta,
inside
Cassidy
track on the
Peterson,
final turn.
32-04.
And she has opened up a large lead. She's going to be very much in the hunt for the podium here.
Just
Whether
over a
she can catch
2-second
Alexa
advantage
Scott,
for
though,
La Liberté Roy.
that's going to be a tall order. She looks powerful
Now into
coming
her
in.
final
Those legs
turn.
pumping coming into the final turn. Rose La Liberté Roy of
Down the
Quebec coming
straightaway,
towards
time
the
to beat,
finish.
122.27.
The 20-year-old from Lévis, Quebec comes to the finish. We'll see if it's good enough to hit the podium. And finishing up a couple seconds behind her is Cassidy Peterson of Alberta. A great skate from Rose La Liberté Roy right there.
And our second last pair. On
As
the
we
inner,
see.
representing British
And
Columbia.
Rose La Liberté Roy has moved into bronze medal position with a 124.89.
And on
A
the
great
other,
skate from her. It was always going to be tough to catch Alexa Scott and Brooklyn McDougall's times, but a very strong skate from Rose La Liberté Roy of Quebec. Cassidy Peterson's in with a 128.57, and she will be one to watch in the distance races later on. Coming into heat number 13, the second last one, the penultimate heat here, Amanda Mitchell of BC, 17 years old on the inside. On the outside is Véronique Derry of Quebec, 20 years old from Lévis, Quebec, under coach Mounsef Ouardi. And they are off. Derry into the turn first. She's on the outside.
And we are underway with
Amanda Mitchell using the inside. Amanda Mitchell is from Fort St. John, BC. She's 17 years old, another one of Richard Stickles' pupils at the Fort St. John Elks Club. She won gold in the girls 3000 at the 2017 Canadian Championships. Her personal best is a 125.78. So she'll have to beat that by a few seconds if she wants to get gold, and beat it by quite a bit to even get on the podium here. Véronique Derry was 5th in the 1500 and won bronze in the 500 earlier this week, the long distance gold medalist at the 2017 Canadian Junior Championships as well. So a pretty loaded pairing here. 1 lap remaining for these two ladies. Véronique Derry from Quebec, Amanda Mitchell from BC. Derry seems to have opened up a pretty wide lead here, using that inside track advantage going into the final backstretch. Mitchell will have the inside. Having a bit of a technical difficulty here, but here we go. We have back into the final turn. Coming into the final turn and coming to the finish line, we have Véronique Derry of Quebec hitting the finish line ahead of BC's Amanda Mitchell. She looks happy with her skate.
128.30 for Amanda
She looks pretty
Mitchell.
thrilled. And we'll have to see
And
if
here
the
comes
bronze
our
medalist in
final
the
pairing for
500
the women's
can get on the podium with
1,000 meters.
124.73, puts her in bronze medal position ahead of Rose La Liberté Roy.
And on the outer,
Amanda Mitchell with a 128.30 to sit a little bit back. But we have a new bronze medal position occupied by Véronique Derry, the 20-year-old from Lévis, Quebec, the same club and the same coach and the same hometown as the one she just beat out for bronze, Rose La Liberté Roy. We are now to our final pairing of today's women's 1,000 between Anna Borges of Alberta and Emmanuel Cote of Quebec. Apologies, we're having some technical difficulties with a couple of our cameras. It's very cold outside, so I'd imagine that's probably got something to do with it. It's not just the skaters dealing with the outside conditions.
800 meters to go.
Both of these skaters looking pretty strong. Emmanuel Cote coming into the outside. On the inside is Anna Borges, the 19-year-old from Calgary, Alberta. She's a former ringette player as well, part of a 4th place team at the 2014 Junior Nationals, and won a silver as the captain of Alberta's team at the 2016 Alberta Winter Games. Her personal best is a 122.09. If Anna Burgess hits that personal best, she will win gold. As Emmanuel Cote, her personal best is 128.82. So they're both capable of doing this. Whether the wind resistance will be too much, we'll have to see. They are coming now into the final lap of the race. The final lap of the women's 1,000 meters here at Great Chief Park in Red Deer, Alberta for the Canada Winter Games 2019.
Bourgeois
And
to the
Emmanuel Cote of
Cote
Quebec
to
has
the
opened up
outer.
a lead over Anna Borges of Alberta. She's heading into the final turn. Looking strong, powerful, coming around on the inside
Bourgeois
corner.
with the shorter
Excuse me,
inner,
the outside.
making
She's
some
coming to the
ground.
finish
It looks
line.
though like
This is going to be
Cote
close.
will be
Emmanuel
coming through
Cote
in the
looks
lead.
strong. A great skate from Emmanuel Cote. Will she
through
knock
to the
off
finish.
one of her teammates from Quebec to get into the bronze medal, or something better? We will have to see. Anna Borges comes in a little bit behind.
For Cote, 126.43.
Looked like a
for
very
Bourgeois.
strong skate. Emmanuel Cote with a
Weight
time
verification for
of
our final
125.13. It will not be
Just
good
a
enough
reminder, 11
to get
a.m. will
on
be
to
the
the
start
podium.
of the men's
Anna Borges
1,000
with a time of
meters.
126.43.
Ladies and gentlemen, it appears after 2
So it is
races,
all settled. The gold
Alexis
medalist
Scott
in the women's
has
1,000
2
meters is
medals
going to
and
be
2
Alexis
Canada
Scott
Winter
of
Games
Manitoba
records.
with a Canada Winter Games record time of 122.26.
We'd like to please
Brooklyn
direct your attention
McDougall
to
of
the
Alberta
board.
with a 123.38 will take home the silver to add to her hardware collection. She has gold at 2 other events here at the Canada Winter Games in Red Deer. And then Veronique Derry of Quebec with a time of 124.73 is going to go home with the bronze medal.
That is a new Canada Games record for Alexis Scott.
Some fantastic skating here. A Canada Winter Games record despite the cold temperatures and the strong winds.
By 1/100th of a second,
Gold medal
a new Canada Games
for
record
Alexis
for Alexis
Scott of Manitoba. And it could set up quite the day for the Manitoban team here, as the preeminent favorite going into the men's 1,000 is Tyson Langelar of Manitoba. He's won gold in both events so far, the 1,500 and 500. Though we saw today that those distinctions did not matter for Brooklyn McDougall. She could not pull out the gold medal time today, as Alexis Scott laid down a beauty of a run to take home the gold medal.
Are you supposed to go right now?
Brooklyn McDougall with silver, Veronique Derry of Quebec with the bronze. Thank you so much for tuning in to the women's 1,000 meters. Stick around. Coming up shortly, we will have the men's 1,000 meters right here from Great Chief Park.
Stay tuned in the break between the men's 1,000 and the beginning of the mass start races. We'll be giving away some more fantastic prizes from some of our great sponsors.
Just so you know, camera 1 does not have ND filter on, and it looks okay. So if you want me to just keep it like that, I think I have less sun or something hitting my lens. Okay, cool. The cameras, when they're in full auto, they don't allow you to actually use white balance. You just punch it into the snow. I flipped to manual before. I just flipped back to full auto so I could not try it.
Good morning and welcome to Great Chief Park, nestled alongside the Red Deer River here in Red Deer, Alberta, host of the 2019 Canada Winter Games. Today the long track competition here at the Games continues with the men's 1,000 meters. The women's 1,000 went down this morning, and it was Manitoba's Alexa Scott who won gold with a Canada Games record time of 1:22.26 around this track. Silver went to Alberta's Brooklyn McDougall, and bronze went to Veronique Derry of Quebec. For the men, we'll have 33 skaters divvied up into 17 pairings. They'll be taking 2.5 trips around this 400-meter outdoor track here at Great Chief Park. That's right, I said outdoors, so the athletes will have some elemental obstacles in their way today. Today in Red Deer, it's -6, but with the 15-kilometer-an-hour northwesterly wind, it's feeling a little closer to -12. But as Alexa Scott proved with her Canada Games record this morning, there are still fast times to be laid down out there today. And first up in our pairings, we have 17 pairs, once again, 33 skaters. That means we have one solo skater. He is your first skater there. You see in the middle there on the back stretch, once again, 2.5 laps. So they're starting on the back stretch, coming around and finishing in front of the finish line there, right in front of the plaza you see in the middle. Remy Martin of New Brunswick is the first skater. He has drawn the short straw. He will be skating alone, which can be challenging. There's not really someone there to sort of gauge your pace against, but he will be going by himself. It looks like he's coming up to the start line right now is Remy Martin. There you see him in the red and black New Brunswick outfit, decked out with the cold weather gear, and he is skating alone. Here, and he is off, and we have started the men's 1,000 meters. It is Remy Martin of New Brunswick. He is 15 years old, from Campbellton, New Brunswick, skates for the Restigouche Comets and coach Darren Oakes. Earlier this week, we had the 1,500 meters and the 500 as well. All of these skaters competed in that event. Remy Martin, the 15-year-old, finished 29th in the 1,500, 27th in the 500. Here you see him coming around the inside. Of course, the skaters will swap back and forth each lap between the inside and outside corner, so they're even on the track in terms of the amount of distance they have skated. Here comes Martin along the backstretch here. He's coming into turn number 2 or number 3 for him. Back onto the home stretch here. And he will be beginning the bell lap in just a couple seconds. Is Remy Martin already looking a little bit labored. You don't want to see those shoulders going back and forth. You don't want to see the head dipping either. You want to see a nice fluid motion. That's what we will see from a lot of the more seasoned skaters we will see later in the competition. Once again, remember, Remy Martin, just 15 years old, out here skating today along the backstretch. Half a lap to go. The best skaters today will be hoping to get somewhere in the range of a minute and 20 seconds or so. Alexa Scott had a minute 22:26 as her personal best. Sorry, as the Canada Games record earlier on. Actually, about a minute 10, I think, is going to be what we're going to look at for the men today as the winning time. And here comes Remy Martin, finishes up. He has finished the first heat, the solo heat, here in the men's 1,000 meter. A 1:33.96 time for Remy Martin of New Brunswick. And it's a new Games record as it looks, so we're going to see some times today. That's a great skate from Remy Martin. But we are going to see some fast times here today at Great Chief Park, it seems. Despite the wind, it seems like things are going pretty smoothly out there for these skaters. And a great skate, a great start to the day from Remy Martin. Pairing number 2 is going to feature on the inside lane Matthew McKenna of PEI, 17 years old, from Brackley, PEI. You see him there in the green outfit. He's got the gloves on, and he will be up against Scott Verschoor of New Brunswick on the outside lane. 18 years old, from Sussex, New Brunswick. His coach is Miriam Verschoor, his mother. Matthew McKenna in the green there finished 31st in the 1,500 on Saturday, 28th in the 500. And Verschoor in the red there with the black finished 26th in the 1,500, 23rd in the 500. Here they come into the turn. Let's see if McKenna can gain some ground with that inside track there, coming around onto the back stretch here. Once again, 2.5 laps around this track here at Great Chief Park for 1,000 meters. Scott Verschoor on the inside track here, pumping away, going into the bell lap. 400 meters to go. He's got quite a lead over Matthew McKenna right now. Both skaters looking a little bit labored. But Verschoor's kind of in an upright position compared to what you're going to see most skaters. But he's still got quite the lead already on Matthew McKenna with half a lap to go. Verschoor will have the outside track. We will see if he can challenge Remy Martin's time of 1:33.93. Remy Martin is in first place. That's the only skater to have gone today. So we can at least say for a while he held on to the gold. Will it be longer? Verschoor wins the heat, finishes ahead of McKenna. McKenna comes across a few seconds behind, and we will see the times as they come up here. Another new games record for both skaters, it looks like. Or just for Scott Verschoor, a 1:30.29 for Scott Verschoor. He is in the lead. A 1:35.89 for Matthew McKenna will put him in third place. So for now, Scott Verschoor is holding the gold medal position for New Brunswick. But we have 30 skaters to go, including some heavyweights later on, including from Manitoba, Tyson Langelar, who is the favorite to win. He won gold in both events earlier this week. Here we are to pair number 3. Luke Sullivan of Nova Scotia in the inside lane. Outside is Riley Adams of New Brunswick. Both of these athletes are 16 years old. Luke Sullivan in the blue on the inside. From Hammonds Plains, Nova Scotia, the Halifax Regional Speed Skating Club under coach Bethany McKinley-Young. And he's got himself a good start here. First half lap in the books. He's got the inside track coming around the turn onto the backstretch. Riley Adams from New Brunswick, 16 years old from Oromocto, New Brunswick. And he's a junior varsity cross-country runner for Oromocto High School as well. He was 28th in the 1500, 26th in the 500. Sullivan was 25th and 24th in the 1500 and 500 respectively. Sullivan coming on to the home stretch here. He will be going into the bell lap. He's got quite the lead right now coming out of the wide lane. Over Riley Adams, he's looking strong. He's got a good fluid motion going right now. And he comes along the backstretch with half a lap to go. He will have the inside track. Going into the finish, can Luke Sullivan up the ante and move ahead of Scott Verschoor into gold medal position? It's looking pretty good right now. He's got a good motion going. He comes around the corner into the final stretch. Comes out of the turn. He's moving to the finish line. It's Luke Sullivan of Nova Scotia. Will he be in the gold medal position? We will see, but he has won heat number 3 here at the men's 1,000 meters. Riley Adams comes in a little bit behind him. And we will wait for the times to be posted. And Luke Sullivan is moving into the gold medal position with a 1:27.58. Moving Scott Verschoor down to the silver medal position. Riley Adams finishes a little bit back. Adams' time of 1:32.56 puts him in third place. Maybe a bit of a mistake on that Canada Games record thing. There was not a notification that there was a record there. We will update you there if we get anything back on that. Here's pair number 4. On the inside, Carter Nolan Bruce from PEI, 16 years old from Charlottetown, up against John Crawford of New Brunswick, also 16. And they are off in heat number 4. John Crawford on the outside. Carter Nolan Bruce on the inside in the green for PEI. Another Maritimes affair. We've had only Maritime athletes so far. And they're pretty close coming in with 2 laps to go. The inside track now for Carter Nolan Bruce. Looks like he's going to have a slight lead coming out of the turn. Bruce skates for Speedskate PEI from Charlottetown PEI. 30th in the 1500, 29th in the 500. On Saturday and Sunday, respectively. John Crawford, 27th in the 1500, 25th in the 500. From Quispamsis, New Brunswick, goes by the Instagram handle at @twinkle_John, which is kind of fun. Headed into the bell lap. Around the corner comes John Crawford. On the inside, he looks like he has the lead here. Half a lap to go, 400 meters left. Make that 200 meters. My math is off. And now they come into the final stretch. It looks like it's going to be John Crawford who takes this heat. Whether or not he can supplant Luke Sullivan atop the podium, we will see. And he comes into the finish line and wins heat number 4 here in the men's 1,000. Carter Nolan Bruce comes in a little bit behind him. We will get those times posted. 1:30.87 for John Crawford, moves him into the bronze medal position. 1:30.87 for John Crawford. Waiting for the official time on Carter Bruce. But John Crawford now sitting in 3rd place. And we will move on to heat number 5. A prairie matchup now. We have Dade Minard of Saskatchewan on the inside in the green, black, and yellow. On the outside, Caleb Muller of Alberta, the 20-year-old, on the outside. And they will begin heat 5.
How's my? Is it okay? Because the sun keeps coming in and out, so it's going to change. If you want me to go on to manual, I can adjust for it and keep it at the good level. Do you want me to do that?
And we are off in heat number 5 of the men's 1,000 meters. The time to beat currently is Luke Sullivan's 1:27.58. Both of these skaters should be in the running here. In particular, Caleb Muller, 20 years old from Cranford, Alberta, from the Lethbridge Speedskating Club. He won silver in the 1,500 meters earlier this week here in Red Deer, 5th in the 500 meters. More of a long-distance specialist, says his goal is to win the 5,000 later this week as well. He was 8th overall in the 5,000 at the 2018 World Junior Championships in Salt Lake City. And he has a big lead opened up already on Dade Minard. Minard is 17 years old from Saskatoon, the Saskatoon Lions Speedskating Club. Had himself a 4th place finish in an event at the 2018 Canadian Long Track Championships. He was 21st in the 1,500, 18th in the 500. He's got almost the full straightaway lead now, does Caleb Muller over Dade Minard as he goes in. And he will have 1 lap remaining, 400 meters. Excuse me, he's finished the race already. That's how he was going way too fast for my brain to keep up with. Caleb Muller is going to win the heat, and he very well could be in 1st place with that extremely strong run. Looks like we have a new games record again. And Caleb Muller with a 1:14.56, 13 seconds ahead of Luke Sullivan. He is now in the gold medal position and has set the bar extremely high for the skaters to follow. Caleb Muller, the silver medalist already in the 1,500, looks to be adding to his medal haul already, though there are many, many skaters to come. Dade Minard with a time of 1:22.43 puts him into 2nd place. So a good run for both of those guys, but Caleb Muller is now your gold medal winner as it stands with 12 pairings to go. Pairing number 6, Brad Height of Saskatchewan against Joel Simpson of Manitoba. Simpson on the left of your screen in the yellow. Brad Height from Saskatchewan in the green, yellow, and black on your right. Both of these athletes are 16 years old. Height from Saskatchewan is from Warman, Saskatchewan, and the Saskatoon Lions Speed Skating Club was the gold medalist in the 400 meter at the CanWest Short Track Championships in 2018. 16th in both the 1,500 and 500 this week here in Red Deer. Joel Simpson from Portage La Prairie, Manitoba, won a gold and 2 bronze at the 2018 Short Track Manitoba Championships. So we have a pair of short track specialists here competing in the long track competition. Why they decided to compete outside when we're recording, we're doing this broadcast from the Gary Harris building where the short track is going on right now in the nice heated confines is beyond me, but they are out there braving the cold. And Brad Height is in the lead. He's got the wide turn. And he's coming in here towards the finish. A bell lap to go, 400 meters left for Brad Height. He's going to the inside turn now. looking strong. He's got a good fluid motion going, and it's necessary because there is a monstrous time from Caleb Muller to beat a 1:14.56, a Canada Games record. And Brad Height has finished well ahead of Joel Simpson. And he moves into second place with a 1:18.52, does Brad Height. Dade Minert now down to the bronze medal position. Caleb Muller still holding on to the gold medal. Now with 11 pairings to go, he's got a long time to wait and a lot of skaters to see. Now we move on to pairing number 7, AJ Seddon of Manitoba against Connor Cameron from Nova Scotia on the left of your screen in the blue. Heat number 7 of the 1,000 meters. Once again, 2.5 laps around this 400-meter track for 1,000 meters. And they are off in heat number 7. AJ Seddon on the right in the Manitoba yellow. Connor Cameron in blue from Nova Scotia. Cameron's 18 from Halifax. He was 20th in the 1500, 21st in the 500. AJ Seddon was 22nd in both events early this week. He's 17 years old from Beausejour, Manitoba, and the Interlake Speed Skating Club. He lists his role model as U.S. speed skating legend Shawnee Davis, and anyone who follows speed skating knows all about Shawnee Davis. Here they come down the backstretch. Lap and a half to go for these skaters. And it looks like Connor Cameron's going to take a bit of a lead coming out of that turn on the inside edge. On the bell lap now, less than 400 meters to go. Connor Cameron in the lead, takes the inside track. Now he's going to have to cross over to take the wide turn. It's still not over yet. AJ Seddon is close enough that he can gain up some ground here on this inside turn, though he looks to be a little bit laboring, kind of wobbling in the shoulders and the legs. Can Connor Cameron hold on? It looks like he's going to. Connor Cameron to the line. It's going to be a tight finish, but Connor Cameron is going to win heat number 7 for Nova Scotia, and we will see where he stacks up on the leaderboard. A pretty strong looking run from Connor Cameron, a 1:23.27. It's going to leave him just off the podium. But there is no shame in that. That is a really nice run from Connor Cameron.
And on the other, his neighbor provincially and on the oval from Saskatchewan.
Caleb Muller still holds on to the gold medal spot. Brad Height with his 1:18.55 is in second position. And Dade Minert of Saskatchewan in third. We are on to pairing number 8. On the right, in the inside lane, Owen Hack from Manitoba. Matthew Scutchings from Saskatchewan on the left. Another Prairie matchup. Here we go. And we are off in heat number 8 of the men's 1,000 meters. Scutchings on the outside. Owen Hack on the inside. Hack is 16 years old from Winnipeg and the River Heights Speed Skating Club. He was 32nd in the 1500, 30th in the 500. Scutchings is 19 from Saskatoon, 19th in the 1500, 17th in the 1000. But it's Hack right now who's got the lead, although he will be going to the outside, and here is the chance for Scutchings to make up some ground on the inside turn. Coming into the home stretch to kick off what will be the bell lap for this heat number 8 in the men's 1,000. Scutchings on the inside, going around to the backstretch. He's opening up a lead now on Owen Hack. The time to beat is 1:14.56 from Caleb Muller. That is going to be a tall task for anyone today. Scutchings looks to be slowing a little bit as he comes into the final turn. Coming on the wide side, he looks like he's going to win the heat, but a little bit of ground's being made up by Owen Hack on the inside turn here. But it is going to be Matthew Scutchings of Saskatchewan coming through the line to win heat number 8. Scutchings will have a time of 1:20.56. That is going to put him in 3rd place in bronze medal position for Matthew Scutchings of Saskatchewan. Owen Hack with a time of 1:21.64. That's the 4th best time anyone's laid down so far today. So a very fast heat in heat number 8 of the men's 1,000. Next up, we will have heat number 9. As we move into the second half of this competition, Barrett Ferguson-Lossier of Nova Scotia. On the inside, on the outside in the blue and red, Jacob Rabuliak of British Columbia. Heat number 9. And there we go. We are off in heat number 9. Jacob Rabuliak in that BC outfit that seems to have been derived from those early 2000s Vancouver Canucks uniforms that someone decided were a good idea. These look a little better than those uniforms. Barrett Ferguson-Lossier of Dartmouth, Nova Scotia was 23rd in the 1500, 32nd in the 500. He is hitting the inside lane now in the blue and white. Trailed slightly by Jacob Rabuliak of BC, 16 years old from Kelowna. Had a pretty strong showing in the 1500, finishing 12th on Saturday, 20th in the 500. Oh, a little almost running into each other there. Hopefully they didn't lose any time there as that little crossover action took place. It's always a little bit of a risk there. Got to have the peripherals on point. And they're heading along now to the back stretch of the race. Jacob Rabuliak. We're having a little bit of a timing issue down at the Great Chief Park right now. We will get that resolved and get the proper times to you when we can. Jacob Rabuliak coming around the wide turn into the finishing area. Oh, a little stumble there from Rabuliak, but he will finish his heat, stay on his feet, and is followed up by Barrett Ferguson-Lossier. Here's hoping Rabuliak didn't lose too much time there. We will get those accurate times to you when we can. Having a bit of a timing issue down there as the elements are probably dealing with some, probably attacking the electronics happening on down there. There's a good look at Jacob Rabuliak, the 16-year-old from Kelowna, BC, coached by Nancy Goplin, a long-distance specialist as he's aiming for a medal in the 5,000 meters. We will get his time to you when we can. A big thanks to Will Dutton, the sports information officer for Long Track, passing along this information from the grounds at Great Chief Park as we hang out in this very cozy heated studio at Gary Harris, the headquarters of the games. And we're on to pairing number 10. On the inside from Saskatchewan, 17-year-old Marc-Andre Doyon. Eric Orlowski from BC in the red and blue. On the outside, 18 years old from Prince George, the host of the 2015 Canada Winter Games. On the inside track is Marc-Andre Doyon from Moose Jaw. He was 32nd in the 1500, 12th in the 500, aiming for a top 10 finish in one of his events here in Red Deer. This would be the one. Orlowski 15th in the 1500, 14th in the 500. And as they come in, the bell lap has begun. 400 meters to go. Both guys with some pretty good pace here. It looks like a bit of a stumble there, it seems, going into the turn from Marc-Andre Doyon. And Orlowski has opened up a bit of a lead here. Oh, another little slip there. Hopefully that doesn't cost too much time for Orlowski, but coming to the final turn, Doyon's going to have a chance to make up some ground here. In that final turn, they're going to come out nearly tied. Coming to the finish line, it looks like it's going to be Orlowski, but it's a race to the finish. Eric Orlowski just ahead of Marc-Andre Doyon in heat number 10. Here, we have Marc-Andre Doyon with a 1:20.51, 3/100ths behind Eric Orlowski. Orlowski moves into the bronze medal position. So Orlowski knocks off Matthew Scutchings' time by 35 100ths of a second. And we're on to pairing number 11, Max Brandt of Ontario on the right against Kieran Hansen of BC on the left in the blue and red.
Okay, I flipped to manual and I put it on.
And we are off here in heat number 11 of the men's 1,000 meter, 11 of 17 in today's competition. Getting some official times in. Jacob Rabuliak with a 1:20.66. He will be off the podium. I believe he's in fifth right now. Barrett Ferguson Lossier with a 1:26.09. And we're one lap into this race now. 600 meters to go. As Max Brandt of Ontario on the left in the white and black with a slight lead, it seems, although it seems as though Kieran Hansen has just passed him going in to the turn here as the bell lap has commenced. And Kieran Hansen has himself a lead going into the backstretch. Just a couple hundred meters to go. They will cross over. This is going to be a very close finish. Max Brandt will have the advantage going on the inside corner here. Those legs pumping, churning. It's going to be a very close finish. It looks, though, like Max Brandt of Ontario is going to take heat number 11 here in the men's 1,000. And we'll see where he stacks up in the grand scheme of things. Max Brandt with a 1:17.02. He is going to move into second position. 1:17.02 for Max Brandt. Kieran Hansen with a 1:17.87. He's not listed in third place there, but he is faster than the third place skater right now, I do believe, who was Brad Height. So I think Kieran Hansen has moved into the bronze medal position. A very fast heat. Max Brandt now in the silver medal spot from Ontario with a 1:17.02. On to pair number 12. From Ontario on the right on the inside lane, Gibby Himbo, 20 years old from Whitby, Ontario, up against Joshua Hathaway of Alberta on the left. Himbo, 20 years old. Hathaway, 19 from Medicine Hat. We have a false start, it seems. Not certain which skater it was on. We've only seen one false start in either event so far today. It's not that common in the 1,000. So Hathaway on the left, Himbo on the right. Himbo, 9th in the 1,500, 7th in the 1,000 here. Bit of a dark horse to win this one, or at least get on the podium. Hathaway, more of a long-distance specialist, 8th in the 1,500. Won gold at the 5,000 at the 2019 Canadian Junior Championships, and they are off. Hathaway on the left for Alberta. Gibby Himbo on the right for Ontario. As they move on to the front stretch of the track here, 800 meters to go, 2 full laps with the 2.5 remaining. And a slight lead here for Himbo of Ontario. Skates with the Toronto Cyclones and coach Cam Boyd. He's going to take the outside track here. Coming on the inside will be Hathaway from the Alberta High Performance Program. And they move into the bell lap now. It's going to be a close race. 400 meters to go. Himbo in the lead. Hathaway on the inside track. It's going to be very close. A nice bit of power. You can see the power coursing through the legs of Joshua Hathaway there as he took the inside turn. He will now take the outside. He's got that right arm, that left arm sort of drifting a little bit. You don't want to see that. You want to see a nice smooth motion, and it looks like on the final turn on the inside, it's going to be Gibby Himbo of Ontario coming around to take the heat. Number 12, Gibby Himbo wins it for Ontario. Josh Hathaway just in behind him. Couple of very fast skaters here. And we will see how they stack up. Gibby and Bo into bronze medal position. 13/100ths back of Max Brandt with a 117.15. We will probably be hearing a lot more from Josh Hathaway later in the competition as the longer distances take hold. But a 117.15 for Gibby Himbo puts him in the bronze medal position. Another Ontario-Alberta matchup in heat number 13. On the right from Alberta, Max Halleck. On the left, Noah Bauma of Ontario. 19 years old from Ottawa. Heat number 13. And they're off in heat number 13 of the men's 1,000. A pretty quick and powerful start from both of these skaters, it looks like, pumping those arms. And you can see the torque, the G-forces at play when they come around those corners on those razor blades on their feet. And it's Max Halleck who's taken a big, strong lead. He's really out of the gate fast here. Halleck was 7th in the 1,500, 8th in the 500, could very much be in the mix to get a medal here. Bauma from Ottawa, Ontario, 19 years old, as is Halleck. Bauma, 18th in the 1,500, 31st in the 500. And Halleck looking strong as he comes to begin the bell lap. 400 meters to go, although looks like he's laboring a little bit. You see that arm drifting, sliding down to his side there. That is a bit of a sign that there's some lactic acid buildup and it's getting a little bit strenuous for the skater. He will come in. You can see it. He's gritting his teeth. You can see it there. He's coming into the final turn. Headed in to the home stretch is Max Halleck of Alberta, the hometown boy from Calgary, just an hour and a half down the road, and he is going to win heat number 13. Noah Bauma of Ontario in a little bit behind him. You see him cross the finish line there. We will see how that time stacks up for Max Halleck. And he's going to move into second position with a 1:15.82 for Max Halleck. A really strong skate. Battled through it there. You could see he was listening near the end. But he gets through. He's in silver medal position. Just over a second behind his teammate, Caleb Muller from Alberta, who is in the gold medal spot. So Alberta in 1-2 right now. Third place is Kieran Hansen from BC. Excuse me, Max Brandt from Ontario. Now we're on to pairing number 14. Josh Talizin of BC, 16 years old, on the right, on the inside. Outside from Quebec, William Lemelin Bilodeau. And we're off in heat number 14. Official time for Noah Bauma is 1:21.11. And heat number 14 between Talizin and Lemelin Bilodeau is on. Talizin, 14th in the 1,500, 33rd in the 500. He fell in the 500 in his first run. In the second of the two runs, though, he posted the second fastest time of any skater. So he could be kind of a dark horse here, despite his low finish in the 500. And he's looking strong now, coming out of the wide turn to begin the bell lap. It's Josh Talizin in the lead ahead of William Lemelin Bilodeau. He was 4th in the 1,500, 6th in the 500. Is very much in the business of winning a medal today, but he's got Josh Talizin in front of him from BC. 200 meters to go. Talizin will have the inside track. Looks like those skaters are pretty close to each other, but nope, they're good. Talizin coming in. You can see those legs pumping like pistons coming into the final turn towards the finish line. Josh Talizin of BC is going to win heat number 14. Just behind him is William Lemelin Bilodeau of Quebec, and he looks happy with his skate today. Joshua Talizin of British Columbia, and he is nearly in first place. He's second place with a 1:14.65, 9/100ths of a second back of the leader, Caleb Muller. A fantastic skate for Josh Talizin, really making up for his fall in the 500 with a fantastic skate out there today. Moving in to the bronze medal position, 9/100ths back of first place Caleb Muller of Alberta. What a skate. Bilodeau with a 1:15.68. He'll be just off the podium as it stands. Excuse me, I believe he's moved into third place. We're on to pairing number 15, Matthew Laxton of Ontario on the right, Cedric Brunet of Quebec on the left. Heat number 15 of 17. And we are off in heat number 15. Matthew Laxton on the right from Ontario, 20 years old from Georgetown, coached by Arno Hoogveld. Finished 7th overall on the Canadian senior ranking list at the 5,000 in 2017-18. Trains full-time in Calgary. Was 4th in the 500 meters. Won bronze in the 1,500, so he's very much in the mix today is Matthew Laxton, and he's looking strong right now. Look at the power he's going around that turn with. He will now go to the outside turn. He looks comfortable, fluid, up next to Cedric Brunet, the 18-year-old from Gatineau, Quebec. A personal best in this event of 1:11.79. That would put him in gold medal position today if he can match that. Might be tough with the wind conditions out there. 6th in the 1,500, silver in the 500. So a very loaded heat here. The leaders, Caleb Muller, Josh Talizin, and William Lemelin Bilodeau, are going to be sweating this one out. And they come around the home stretch into the final turn. It's going to be a close one. It is going to be Matthew Laxton of Ontario just ahead of Cedric Brunet. An extremely close finish there for this very loaded heat. Brunet came across the line first with a 1:15.70, just off the podium behind his teammate William Lemelin Bilodeau. And Laxton will be in 5th place. Some very fast times being thrown down now. And if the leaders weren't already sweating, they will now, as the next heat features Tyson Langelar, the gold medalist in both the 15 and 500 here at the Canada Winter Games. He is the favorite in this event. Also won a gold at the 2015 Canada Games in Prince George in the mass start event, an event we will see coming up later this afternoon. Looks like there's a little bit of a touch-up going on the ice right now. We've seen a couple of stumbles, so the ice crew is out there. Shouldn't be hard to get the water to freeze out there today. A big shout to all of the volunteers that have helped make these games happen. Anyone you see in one of those mustard and ketchup coats is one of the over 5,000 volunteers helping to make these Red Deer Canada Games a possibility. So the next heat will feature Tyson Langelar of Manitoba. Langelar is 19 years old from Winnipeg, coached by Bart Schouten and Todd McClements. Ranked number 1 in the Canadian Junior Championship rankings in 2017-18 in both the 1,500 and 5,000. He is one to watch for the future, to be sure, at games beyond this Canada Games. And it looks like they're just about finished up with the ice there, and the skaters have come out. In the yellow on the right is Tyson Langelar, the favorite in today's event. Next to him is William Sauhier of Quebec, the 18-year-old from Quebec City, 17th in the 1,500, 10th in the 500 here this week in Red Deer. Heat number 16. And they are off in heat number 16 of the men's 1,000 meter. The man to watch is Tyson Langelar in the yellow from Manitoba, the winner of the 500 and 1,500 meter gold, already here in Red Deer, and he is out to a very strong start. A bit of a stumble there almost from Langelar. Bit of a strange skater's gait from him as well with that arm, but it seems to work for him. He's the favorite in this event for a reason, and he's blasted out to quite the lead here as he will come around the wide turn onto the front stretch of this course here at Great Chief Park, and he will ignite the bell lap. 400 meters to go for Tyson Langelar. The time to beat for him is a 1:14.56 from Caleb Muller from Alberta. Langelar, 200 meters to go. He's going to have the inside track for the final turn here of his men's 1,000 meter. You can see those legs churning. Coming around into the final stretch is Tyson Langelar, the gold medalist in both the 500 and 1,500, and he crosses to win heat number 16. And we'll see where his time stacks up. The Manitobans in the crowd look happy. Tyson Langelar does too. And he has done it. Tyson Langelar has set a new games record with a 1:12.79 to sit in the gold medal position. Caleb Muller, after being in the gold medal spot the entire time since his run in heat number 5, has fallen down to the silver medal spot behind Tyson Langelar with a new Canada Games record. And he is one heat away from clinching his 3rd gold medal here at the Canada Games. The final heat features on the right Antoine Gagnon-Lamarche of Quebec, Paul Coder of Alberta on the left. Lamarche on the inside, Coder on the outside. Lamarche won bronze in the 500, 13th in the 1,500. Coder 5th in the 1,500. 11th in the 500, and they are off in the final pairing of today's 1,000 meters at the Canada Winter Games. Tyson Langelar of Manitoba has just laid down the time to beat a Canada Games record of a 1:12.79 around this 1,000 meter track, 400 meter track, 2.5 times around here at Great Chief Park. In the lead right now, Antoine Gagnon-Lamarche, the bronze medalist in the 500 at the 2019 Canada Junior Championship in Calgary as well. He's just 17 years old. He has very much a case to be on the podium today as he goes around the wide turn. And they will come in along the front stretch of this track to ignite the bell lap, the final lap of action today in the 1,000 meter for the men. On the inside is Paul Coder of Alberta, 19 years old, from Calgary, part of the Olympic Oval program. And he is churning his way, got both arms pumping there. He's going to have the outside turn. Gagnon-Lamarche looks to be laboring a little bit. He does not look like he's going to put down a time that's going to get him on the podium. Coder might, though. He comes in, the hometown boy. Paul Coder into the finish line. He wins the final heat here of the men's 1,000 meters. We'll see if it's good enough for a podium position. The man to beat is Josh Tillizin. And with a 1:15.61, he will not make the podium. And Josh Tillizin of BC, after falling in his first run of the 500 meters, is going to go home with a bronze medal in the 1,000 for British Columbia here today. Caleb Muller of Alberta with a 1:14.56 wins the silver medal. And Tyson Langelar continues his dominance of these Winter Games here in Red Deer 2019 with a 1:12.79 run to win the gold medal for Manitoba. Manitoba sweeps the 1,000 meters for the men and women. Of course, Alexis Scott earlier on today set her own Canada Games record to win gold in that event. Also to beat an Albertan, in that case Brooklyn McDougall. In this case for the men, Caleb Muller of Alberta, who went in heat number 5, goes home with the silver after holding on to the gold for 11 heats until Tyson Langelar had something to say about it.
1:30 for the women and 2 o'clock for the men. Mass start.
Once again, it's gold for Tyson Langelar of Manitoba, silver for Caleb Muller of Alberta, bronze for Joshua Tillizin of British Columbia here at the men's 1,000 meters at the Canada Winter Games here in Red Deer, Alberta. Thank you so much for tuning in for today's action. We will have the mass start event later on this afternoon for the men and women, so stay tuned. Thank you so much. Till next time, I'm Sean Woodley here from Great Chief Park in Red Deer.